Today's the day. Am I doing something smart or something crazy? I think I'm doing something smart. I came down to Mexico to get some dental work. So let me tell you about that. I've had dental work here before. It's been good dental work. There's not been a problem. Other than the first place I went in Playa del Carmen where I got my veneers, apparently the glue, she didn't seal the teeth perfectly. So 8 years later, which is, whatever, I thought that one of my crowns broke in half on the back. And you can't see it, but this tooth is kind of like, the back of it is off. And I thought there was some sort of decay in there because it looks black, right? I went to several dentists in Atlanta, and the first one I went to was a holistic dentist in Midtown who, as soon as someone is doing Botox in their dental office, I'm just going to say that's a bad sign, right? So if you see they're doing Botox and other things to make money, avoid that dentist. Right now I feel like a lot of dental in the United States is just a scam. But that dentist was like, you're going to have to get braces, which I do need braces. I have an overbite, and that is probably part of the problem, sure. But you're going to have to get braces, and as a good dentist, I can't put anything on top of that tooth with it being in a state of decay, right? So I'm thinking I have a terrible cavity on the back of this tooth, which no one wants to think they have a cavity. It freaks you out. And on the other tooth, which is like there's a stain on the back of it. So I think both of those teeth have to come off, right? And then this one over here has kind of a chip on it, but no darkness. So I'm like, all right, let's get those 3 crowns removed. But in Atlanta, after paying for all of these x-rays at the holistic dentist in Midtown, I feel like I'm gonna have to come up with what the name of it is, but it's a woman and you walk in and she's got all these like beauty machines, anti-aging machines, Botox going in the office. It's right in Midtown. I would not recommend. She could have easily helped me, but she didn't. And she let me think I had decay. So then I went to another holistic dentist who was out of town who, and she wanted me to have a plan to remove a tooth that she said I have a tooth that she thought where my root canal was that would need to get a post and a new crown, like an implant. And I know that root canals are, not a great thing to have. And I thought maybe she's right because she said that that's what she saw in the x-ray. So I'm thinking I have to get all this stuff done plus get braces. She sends me to a guy who's a specialist for the consultation to see this guy in Atlanta who wants to put a titanium post in my mouth, which is metal. So if you're a holistic dentist, why would you send anyone to a place where they're going to use titanium as a post? Titanium is metal. Holistic dentists use zirconium posts. They don't put any metal in your mouth, not any metal. So basically I figure out she's like kind of full of it. I don't trust her at that point. And she also wanted me to go to a dentist who was an orthodontist who wanted to put a metal piece in the top of my mouth and give me metal braces for a year. Okay, more metal. Is she a holistic dentist or does she just say she's a holistic dentist, right? Seems to me like she just wants to make money and she probably has, I don't know, kickbacks from these other dentists or something. I don't know, I'm just speculating here, but bad experience. So I find another holistic dentist who I like a lot more because, and her price for a crown was $2,200, plus there's also the cost of her doing whatever she does to the tooth to prepare it. So more than that, right? I've heard of people paying up to $4,000 for a crown in Atlanta. Okay, I go out of the city, I find another dentist. His price for a crown is $1,100. He's a holistic dentist. He tells me that he wants to put me in Invisalign because it doesn't make sense to have metal in your mouth if you want holistic dentistry. And he says that at my age and everything, he can improve the bite enough with Invisalign without it, for it to be worth it. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be good. And, so But he says, oh, well, but you're going to have to lose that tooth, and I'm going to have to do that at some point. So be prepared for that, right? Again, saying that only because I told him, which I shouldn't have even mentioned it, that she said that she said there was a cloudy spot on the X-ray, cloudy spot on the X-ray. And he charged me for more X-rays, $700 for a cleaning, and he tried to get this tooth off. I said, I just want, because there's decay, I want to get the veneers done before I do the braces, because I just want to know that my teeth are healthy and there's no decay. He said, we don't know if it's an active cavity. I think it'd be fine to wait. He did not tell me anything about it. Wasn't even a cavity. And then he tried to take off my tooth with his laser, which is supposed to remove veneers and crowns, and it wouldn't come off. Why? Because I have really good materials, because I got it done in Mexico, and they use something called Emax porcelain. It's a lot stronger, it adheres to the teeth a lot better, and so it's hard to get back off. So his big machine that he had that he said was going to be so easy to just pop off he couldn't get it off. So when he couldn't get it off, I was like, let me just come back another day. Like, I got a really bad feeling about that. Thank God. So I ended up coming back to Mexico. I looked for a holistic dentist in Cancun, and the dentistry here is so much more advanced than it is in the United States. It's insane. Okay, so it's easy to fly into Cancun. I was able to, they pick you up from the airport, they give you a taxi, and then they bring you to your hotel, and then they pick you up for your appointment, and kind of like an Uber that's just for the dentist down here, and it brings everyone to the dentist. Everyone you meet down here is getting dental work, and they're all getting really good work. Okay, so I go to the dentist, and I'm thinking, I'm ready to get three new crowns is what I'm ready to get, right? I'm like, just give me the 3 new crowns. And the dentist, they do all the x-rays all the way around, that circular x-ray that sees everything. So they do that again, and then they do x-ray of each tooth as I'm sitting in the chair, all these pictures. And what does the dentist there tell me? He says, you don't have any decay. There's no cavities here. This is glue. When the dentist put on these veneers, or these crowns, which I had 2 sets of veneers that I got in Atlanta, by the way, first. So I started out in the United States with my dental journey, let me tell you, and not with good results. The ugliest, squarest, biggest veneers were my first one. Then the second one, veneers, one was popping off all the time. I had 2 bad experiences in Atlanta from a cosmetic dentist there. So anyway, that's how, and then while getting surgery in Atlanta, they broke one of my front veneers off from the tube in Wellstar Hospital, which I think they're under investigation right now, because they're hiring all these nurses from like other countries that they can get super cheap, and if you go there, it's the worst care. Avoid that hospital. Anyway, I'm rambling, but I think you can follow what I'm saying. The dentist here tells me it's just the glue. The glue has been exposed to oxygen and it's turned black. There's no decay on your tooth at all. I don't need to do anything right now if I don't want to. I could just leave it. And I said, is it my imagination, or is this tooth more sensitive? He said it could be, because the back's not on it and that's just the tooth that's exposed. And I could put resin, which resin is what they do when they bond your teeth. You've heard of teeth bonding, which I really should have never gotten veneers. I should have just bonded my teeth slightly for a couple of teeth that I had that had little chips in them, and got braces and called it a day. That's what I really should have done. But once you start messing with your teeth and taking off some of your teeth, it's kind of like fake nails if you wear those, which I don't. But it's like when you start taking something off of the surface, then you have to deal with always having something on there. So it's kind of like it's done and over at that point. So he said, because you've had this tooth worked on already 3 times, if I put a veneer or a crown on you now, I can do that. You don't need it, but I can do it. But then when at the end of your dental treatment to get your teeth really straight, I know they look straight, but I have an overbite, okay? So before you say anything, they're not. They're straight-ish, see? Straight-ish. But I want my bite to be correct. So He said, once you do that, we don't know where your teeth are going to be, so you don't really want to do that. So just, he said, you might end up with a root canal if I touch it 4 times. You know, that would be the 4th time touching that tooth. He said, don't do it. Just let me put some resin on the back of the tooth, seal it up, and then start your Invisalign, and then in a year we'll do all of the teeth that you want to do with veneers when the teeth are shifted to where they're going to end up. Okay, how honest is that? I was walking in there ready to pay for 3 crowns. By the way, a crown there, and they have pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures of before and afters. And they actually brought me into the lab, and since I've had veneers before, I've gone to a lab that was local in Atlanta when I was getting my first set of veneers, and actually it was my second set. It was the ones that were popping off, but so one kept popping off and they had to remake it, and I had to go physically to the lab and see it. It's really cool. It's kind of like people working with porcelain. I love the smell of the lab. It's very artistic job, I think, making teeth. Anyway, so their lab is right there. The one that in Atlanta that was gonna, the one that was, actually both of them were gonna send them away, but the one that I considered doing where it was $1,100 a tooth, it was gonna be 3 weeks because they're gonna mail off the impression to get it made. Where are they gonna mail it off to? Not any place close if it's 3 weeks each time. Might be to Mexico, might be to who knows where, right? So they're basically, you're in a temporary for 3 weeks, and then if it's wrong, they're going to mail it off, and it's going to be another 3 weeks. Do you see what I'm saying here? So why would you not go to a place that has their own lab right in-house? And I'm sure that in the United States, there's plenty of places that have their lab right in-house, and I'm sure they're charging you a lot for it too. So here they have that lab. I walked in, I saw the beautiful work they were doing on these teeth. They're using only zirconium or Emax porcelain, which are the best. Zirconium is what you want to use for back teeth, especially molars, especially if you grind your teeth and stuff. Emax is what I have in the front, and it's very pretty. It's translucent and it's strong, and as you know, it really adheres to the teeth. So I am so happy, and I left, and I'm going back on Monday to get, he's going to put resin on the back of the tooth to basically bond it. So this year when I'm wearing Invisalign, it'll be there. I could get Invisalign here. It's the same price to get Invisalign here or in the United States. It's about $4,500 for about a year. And so you won't really save money doing that in Mexico. My question is to myself, do I even want to give any of the dentists in the United States a dime at this point? That's really how I feel. It's like, it's insane. Did you know that dentists have the highest rate of suicide of any job? Is it because they're lying to people and pulling their teeth out that don't need to be pulled and telling them? I mean, that would give you some guilty feelings, wouldn't it? I don't know. So, while I was in the cab on the way back, I was telling the cab driver here in Mexico, and I speak some Spanish and they all speak some English, so it's easy to have a conversation when you can meet in the middle with language. But and on another note, I would say, why don't we in the United States, why don't we, when someone speaks to us in Spanish, why don't we respond in Spanish and then say it in English to them so they can learn the way they do here? They will always respond to you in English and then they say it in Spanish. So you get, they're constantly teaching you how to speak Spanish here. Why don't we do that? I mean, it would be helpful to everyone, right? Anyway, so the cab driver was like, of course they're honest because all of their business is through referral, and you're going to send your family and your friends because you know they're honest. So, you know, they have a lot to gain by being honest. I was like, that's true. It's how it should be, right? Anyway, next story, that's my teeth story. Next story will be, I've decided to get stem cells while I'm in Mexico. So, ... I'll make another video and talk about that. Okay, anyway, I'll let you guys know more about my dental journey. The place that I've gone to a few places down here, and I've also interviewed a few doctors, and my sister has come down here as well. So I do kind of have familiarity with more dentists down here than the ones just that I've gone to. But the one that I am visiting right now is called Cancun Dental Design. I'm sorry, Cancun Smile Design. Yeah. I'll put it in the description to make sure that I'm saying the right place. Cancun Dental Design, Cancun Smile Design. There's 2 different places. Both of them actually get good ratings, but I'll put down the one that I'm going to because I love it so far. I'm very, very happy. All right. Thanks for watching and travel soon.